live from the Quad Cities with Morgan Otier and Kyle Keel. This is Quad Cities Live.
Play ball. This weekend, two vintage baseball teams are taking the field live on KWQC. We'll have a preview of the game at the John Deere Historic Site in Grand Detour.
And a fishing tournament, poker run, and live music festival, all to support local veteran organizations. The Patriot River Fest is coming up, and we'll tell you how you can participate.
And Spotlight Theater is ready to open a show never seen in the Quad Cities. Disney's Tarzan swings into town this weekend, and we've got all the details for some family fun. Happy Thursday, June 6th, and welcome to Quad Cities Live. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Morgan Otier.
And I'm Kyle Keel. June, of course, is Pride Month, and the Figge Art Museum is celebrating with a film series happening throughout the month of June. So joining us now is Peter McDowell. He is the director of one of those films being shown, and he joins us now. And, you know, you're coming to us from LA, so welcome to the Quad Cities.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's my first time here.
Yeah, so this is pretty exciting because you're kicking off this series at the Figge with one of the films you directed.
Yeah.
And the film is called Jimmy in Saigon. So tell us a little bit more about the film.
Yeah, so the film is about my family. It's about my brother Jimmy, who is the eldest in the family, who died fairly suddenly and mysteriously in Saigon, Vietnam in 1972 when he was 24 and I was only 5 years old. Wow. I didn't really know him, and I wanted to know more about him and try to just figure out what happened to him and why he went back to Vietnam. He went back as a civilian. So I've been working on the film for 12 years, and now we've taken it to 40 film festivals around the world.
Congratulations.
This is the newest one, so.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
A little bit of a synopsis. You kind of gave us the background on why you wanted to put this film together.
Yeah.
I got an opportunity to watch the trailer, which we're going to show people a piece of in just a few minutes. But I mean, this work really took you all over the place.
Yeah. I'm from Illinois. I'm from Champaign, Illinois, and I grew up in the Midwest. And yet my brother, was in the Army in Vietnam, and he ended up dying there. And so I traveled to Vietnam twice with a film crew to kind of figure out what was going on. I met with a friend of his in Paris, and I went all over the United States. I tried to do two things: to meet everyone who ever knew him, and also to walk in his footsteps.
Oh, wow. That's really special.
Yeah.
So obviously he's a big inspiration behind this, but what also inspired you to create this film?
Well, I mean, without giving away too many spoilers, I grew up gay, in the Midwest, and when I was a certain age, maybe in my 20s, I had already come out to my mom. She said, "Oh, I always wondered if maybe your brother Jimmy was gay." And I was like, "What? How come you never mentioned this?" And so I thought, like, is it possible that he had a secret that nobody knew about? My siblings were also, everyone in my family was very distraught after his death, and so there was a lot of sadness in my house growing up, and so I wanted to kind of help heal the sadness a little bit. And I think more than anything, the film is about grief, loss, mourning, and healing.
Yeah. Okay, well, with that said, we want to take a look at a short clip from the Jimmy in Saigon trailer.
I really want to know if Jim was gay, if he had a lover.
No, they don't know.
If I can find this lover.
No.
I want to find out the real truth behind actually how he died.
Who's that?
Oh, my mother. My mother.
I just feel like I'm
Amazing.
On the tip of the
I love
impactful.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
powerful.
impactful, it's powerful, just the way that you have done the videography and all of this and everything, really special.
Thank you.
So what message or impact do you hope that this film will have on the audiences that watch it?
I think it's a different kind of Vietnam story. People didn't talk about Vietnam for a long time.
Right.
We just played at the GI Film Festival in San Diego, which is a veterans and military film festival, and it was really eye-opening. A lot of military people came. I think a lot of it is about, like I said, sort of like healing, not being ashamed to talk about the past, and sort of opening up our hearts to stories, maybe family stories that have maybe been buried. One of the things that I'm really excited about is that a central story in this film was filmed in Iowa. So I'm going to go visit the person. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but people who see the film will see this important Iowa scene, and I'm going to be able to go visit that person this weekend. So yeah.
And obviously, it's important to keep these stories alive. Like you said, a lot of people didn't talk about Vietnam for a long time. So why do you think this story in particular is important to talk about and for people to see during Pride Month?
Yeah. I mean, I think the movie really addresses family reactions to LGBTQ issues, both in the United States and in Vietnam. So we see families from both sides sort of grappling with these issues, and also seeing that, like, even though things have changed a lot and there's a lot more societal acceptance now than there was back in the 70s and 80s, that there's also still some things that you can see right now. So again, I think it's like about openness. I think it's about seeing new experiences. A lot of Vietnamese or Asian folks who have seen the film have been very moved by how we showed this discussion in that family situation.
I can imagine. And of course, this film is part of a series, as we mentioned at the beginning of the segment, all connected to Pride Month. So what do you think the importance is of the Figgy and other entities taking the time to do something like this? You know, not just show one film one day out of the month, but really make it something that people can celebrate.
Well, thank you. I'm really, really touched and honored that the Figgy is investing in this program. I've been, like I said, I've been to 40 film festivals around the world, but not a lot of art museums, things like this, have invited me out for the film. I think it's a great investment in the community. It's a broad community of all ages. I met some folks from the LGBTQ community here in Davenport last night who were, older and who were really looking forward to seeing this kind of segment.
And this is just one of 4 award-winning films that are going to be shown this month.
Yeah, there's 3 more after this later on in the month. So
very cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, if you would like more information on what we talked about today, Jimmy in Saigon, and all of the rest of the films that are being shown at the Figgy this month, you can head to the Figgy's website. And to learn more about Jimmy in Saigon, you can visit the website jimmyinsaigon.com.
We also should mention, as we put up the website for the Figgy Art Museum here, that these film screenings are free. It's something that the Figgy has been able to do through some generous grants and been able to offer some free admission to the public. So if that is holding you back from going and participating and celebrating, it shouldn't, right?
That's right. And my film is tonight. It's tonight at 6:30.
There you go.
It is tonight at 6:30. It's the perfect day for it. A little windy out there. Perfect time to see a film, right? All right. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to talk to both of you.
Congratulations. Well, up next on QCL, details on an opportunity this weekend to watch some old-fashioned baseball on the grounds of a John Deere historic site. A preview of what to expect after the break.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
It is a trip back in time this weekend at the John Deere historic site in Grand Detour, Illinois. Our own Joey Danya visited with John Deere ahead of a vintage baseball game happening this Saturday and learns more about why this tradition is a home run.
We are here at the John Deere historic site in Grand Detour, Illinois. If you know your history in agriculture, you probably know that John Deere moved here in 1836. He had come across hard times in Vermont and moved here, quickly finding work due to a lack of blacksmiths in the area. 1 year later, Deere invented the world's first steel plow, and the rest was history.
So the significance of John Deere steel plow is, basically we needed something to cut through this Midwest sticky soil. From when people came from the East Coast, all the mold boards on the plows were made out of either wood or cast iron. And Mr. Deere found an old disregarded saw blade, polished it up, sharpened it up. It really did change things for agriculture here in the Midwest.
Here at the historic site, you can learn much more about how John Deere changed agriculture forever. You can view excavated artifacts, tour the original John Deere family home, watch live blacksmith demonstrations in a replica of John Deere's original shop, and much more.
When our visitors come to the historic site for the baseball game, we'll have all of our buildings open there. They can actually walk through the house that John Deere himself built. We have a replica blacksmith shop where we'll have blacksmiths in there doing demonstrations all throughout the day. There's actual building that's built around a dig site where in the 1960s, University of Illinois actually went in and dug up where they believed his blacksmith shop was and uncovered a lot of his tools and his forge. And so you can actually go in and see that dig site and watch a little movie about it.
On top of all of the John Deere history you can learn about here at the historic site, this Saturday you can also watch a vintage baseball game, and that's why I'm joined by Mark Herman, captain of the Oregon Ganymedes.
That's right, Ganymedes, you got it right.
Mark, I want to start with asking you about this uniform because that's impressive, and that is vintage.
Yeah, this is a wool reproduction uniform. This is actually, we found a newspaper article that described the Oregon team uniform from 1871 and didn't have any pictures, but we had a description that the local newspaper had written about it, and it made it detailed enough that we could reproduce the uniform, and we're wearing what Oregon would have worn at that time.
You know, I feel like I'm not dressed appropriately for this interview.
Well, I got another one if you'd like to try it on. It's wool, but it's pretty comfy.
I thought you'd never ask. Wow, this is amazing. So this is an actual vintage uniform from the original team.
It's a reproduction of one that we got from a newspaper description, and it is made of wool. It's the same material, it's the same style, and that is what would have been very common for teams in this area to wear back in the mid-1800s.
You have to get pretty hot wearing these.
Yeah, you sweat a lot, but it's durable, it washes well, and it holds up. So that's the big thing. We've had these uniforms for a long time, and the wool wears really well.
For someone who's unfamiliar with vintage baseball, what can they expect here on Saturday?
Well, vintage baseball is playing by rules of an earlier time period. So what we do is we went back to the earliest rules of baseball, and we play by the way it was first started. Vintage baseball is a simple game of action, exercise, and just it's a much different game than what we think of when we think of modern baseball.
What a neat way to pay tribute to America's pastime. It's really the first team sport in our country.
It's a first team sport. It was something that started right after the American Civil War, and it spread like wildfire. This was before you had football or basketball or soccer or any other team sport. It was baseball because it was so simple. You just needed a bat and ball and bases, and you could play it anywhere. We don't like to play on modern ball fields. We like to play on grass and set up the field. All you need is bases, 90-foot base paths, and you can set it up anywhere. And that's the joy of it. If it's bumpy ground, great.
Yeah, right behind us, this is the field you'll play on Saturday here at the John Deere Historic Site. I know you played here last year. What was it like, and what did you enjoy the most about that experience?
It was fun. Last year we played. It was the first time. We set up 90-foot base paths and squeezed the field in here. We had a huge crowd come, and it was 95 degrees and really hot, but we still had a great turnout. Brought in a team from DuPage County, the Plowboys, which was very appropriate, and had a great time, and they invited us back. They want to make this an annual event because it was so much fun.
I've got one of the baseballs right here. They're a little different, aren't they? It's more of a softball.
Yeah, if you look, it's called an X-stitch ball, and it's about the same size as a baseball, but it's more the compression of a softball. The more you play with it, the softer it gets. Again, you play without gloves. Gloves were not something, for the first 20 years of baseball, you didn't have gloves. So you need to catch it barehanded, and you have one ball that lasts the entire game. If it goes in foul territory, you have to wait and get it back because balls are really expensive. And as the game goes on, the ball gets softer and doesn't go as far. As part of the strategy.
Thanks, Mark. Before I let you get out of here, you want to throw me a couple pitches?
Absolutely. I got a bat and everything you need, and we can do it right out here.
This bat is pretty heavy.
It is heavy. I'm going to throw it right and lob it in there.
So you go underhand?
Absolutely.
Well, that's helpful for me.
You ready? Here it comes.
I'll try and come around on this one. There we go. That was a lot of fun. Best of all, we didn't break anything. Mark, thanks a lot for the time.
Thanks for coming.
Vintage baseball, Saturday afternoon, 1 o'clock here at the John Deere Historic Site. Best of all, it's free to the public. Reporting in Grand Detour, Illinois, I'm Joey Dyer.
Oh, Joey's just amazing. As he just mentioned, you can catch that game in person in Grand Detour, or You can watch it live right here on KWQC this Saturday at 1 p.m. Coming up on QCL, putting pen to paper or fingers to keys for an immersive weekend of writing workshops. We'll preview the upcoming David R. Collins Writers Conference coming to Augustana College next.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
There's a writers' conference making its way back to the Augustana campus later this month, featuring talented faculty who will lead participants through engaging workshops. Here from the Midwest Writing Center are Ryan Collins and Sarah Elgatian. Welcome to both of you.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thanks for being here. Ryan, we'll start with you.
Sure.
So first, tell us a little bit about the conference. It's coming up at the end of June. It is a 3-day conference. Who is it for?
It's for writers at any stage in their career. You know, most of the people who attend, they're kind of starting out or they're kind of midway in their career, starting to think about publishing, something like that, and are trying to kind of like level up a little bit. So,
Sarah, there are 4 faculty, we've got them on the screen right now, leading workshops for this conference. Can you tell us a little bit about these people, these very talented people that are going to be here for this?
Yeah, thank you. So what's really exciting about the faculty that we choose is they're always really good teachers.
Okay.
So like you can see, we've got the books here. They're all, you know, well established in their careers as authors. They're also really excellent teachers in and they're teaching in their specialty. So we've got I'm going to try to do this in order. We've got short stories, we've got poetry. This is a lyric memoir, so that touches both hybrid writing, you know, mixed style, and also the nonfiction memoir. Memoir is really hot, and then fiction. And what's I think really exciting about having a thriller author doing novel writing is that that's the kind of book that really needs a plot.
Yes.
You really need to see that through. So she really knows what she's doing.
She really knows what she's doing. And that would be Rebecca McKenna?
Yeah, who's local, was once local.
yeah, she's from around here. She's got family around here, and she actually used to serve on our board of directors back in the day.
Wow, fabulous. Well, welcome home to her.
Yeah.
So she was going to be doing the revising a novel draft by draft. That's going to be her workshop. So when people go and sign up for these different workshops, they're going to, get like a drop-down list of the different options, and they pick one?
They can take as many as, some people take all 4 workshops. So it depends on what genre they're working in, but some people just kind of want to push themselves and like try to expand, work in different genres. I think, especially like something like poetry, I think anything that you learn in poetry can serve anything else that you're writing in terms of like that precision of language, that lyricism, like you find that in any, I think, good writing.
Yeah, well, I'm going to read over the other ones. So we talked about revising a novel draft by draft. Another one here, Chad Simpson, fictional forms short fiction workshop. You talked about lyricism, so mining memory with lyricism, crafting memoir through lyric essay, and then the other one, obscured environments, a generative poetry workshop. So lots of options for people. But what I think is really, I think it's very unique to be able to have this opportunity in our area. I mean, people, the response has to be truly incredible, because it feels like you may have to go either to Iowa City, where they have a fantastic program, or pretty far away to be able to do something like this.
Yeah, stuff like this is usually in cities. I feel like it's really special, and before I was staff, I had been to the conference.
Okay.
And it's really like, it's an amazing experience for the money, but also it's just the only thing of its kind in this area. And it is set up such that you can take all 4 instead of them overlapping.
Yeah. That's amazing. I know I was perusing a little bit today, and you guys have really made it easy for people to sign up for these. So in addition to leading these 3-day workshops, faculty members are going to be participating in a lot of other stuff, Ryan, including there's a keynote evening at the Figge Art Museum. I believe it is the Thursday.
That is correct.
Okay,
yeah.
So what's going to happen there?
So we tried this last year, and it was a big success, so we kind of want to do the same thing. Instead of doing like all this kind of intense craft writing, you know, talking about craft and getting really detailed into the work, which if you're not someone who's working writer all the time, that might not be so accessible to you. So we're kind of doing a community conversation. We're just kind of getting back to basics and like asking these writers, like, why do you do what you do? Like, why did you get into this? Like, what's what's the thing that keeps pushing you as you move forward. You know, writing's tough. There's a lot of rejection. You know, some of these people are professors and they work in academia, but you know, that space has been kind of challenging too. So like, kind of focusing on like the thing that you have to say, the thing that you want to share. I think that's something that connects any writer, whether you're publishing books or whether you're just kind of starting out and working at home and maybe a little shy about sharing your work with other people.
I agree. You write that the prompt for that conversation with the faculty, why is writing important? And what I think is so cool that you just alluded to is whether you're a poet, whether you're a journalist, you are going to have some type of really special answer and something to contribute to that conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, we want people to come, and you know, there's usually a Q&A for things like this, but we really do want it to be a discussion and a conversation. Like, they will, I am sure, have great things to say. We kind of do it off the cuff. We don't like prep too much. We want their answers to be honest and kind of in the moment. They know what they're getting into, obviously, but like, but we want it to be like an open discussion with the community as much as it can be. So we hope a lot of people come out.
Okay, and then finally, before we run out of time with you guys, there's an open mic evening on Friday at Rostalks. So how does that evening go? I mean, we're going to get to hear from, you know, the faculty that have written and published the books that you brought with you today, but people that are participating in the workshops, they're going to get an opportunity?
Yeah, Rostalks is really, really a wonderful place for an event like this because it's so homey. But yeah, workshop attendees or conference attendees, anyone who is participating in any aspect of the conference is welcome to then read alongside the headliners. Which doesn't happen very often.
No, it doesn't, and it's exciting, and I think it, you know, makes the whole weekend and the workshops mean so much more when at the end of it, or in the middle of it, I should say, you get the opportunity to share a little bit about what you've been working on. Ryan, beyond the conference, tell us a little bit about the Midwest Writing Center and just everything that you guys have to offer here in the Quad Cities.
Sure, yeah. I mean, like, this is our big event every year. We've done it in this format. This will be our 19th year. It's also our 19th year for another one of our marquee programs, which is called Young Emerging Writers. It's a summer internship program where local high school students and some college students, 15 and 19-year-old students, get paid to write, to be in small group workshops, and they publish a magazine called The Atlas. So that's representative of a lot of what we do because it's educational, but there's also some publishing. So we publish books, we do workshops for writers of all levels, all ages, all experience levels. We host free critique groups. We have a reading series, pretty much anything to do with writing. We want to be in there, and we want to partner with people that are doing it.
Truly an amazing resource for our area. Well, the David R. Collins Writers Conference is Thursday, June 27th through Saturday, June 29th at Augustana College. The keynote event at the Figge, that's on the Thursday evening, and the open mic event at Rostalks in Rock Island is on Friday. For more information, visit the Midwest Writing Center at mwcqc.org. Ryan and Sarah, thank you for coming on today and telling us all about it. Sounds like it's going to be a great event.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thanks so much.
Well, much more to come in our next half hour, including details on the Patriot River Fest happening this weekend on the LeClaire Levee, and later it's a classic tale, Tarzan raised in a remote jungle. Now the story is swinging into the Spotlight Theater.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
There is a special fundraiser happening in LeClaire this weekend benefiting injured vets, first responders, Gold Star kids. Here to tell us about Saturday's Patriot River Fest is John Kiss and Don Drake. John, did I pronounce your name correctly?
It's Drock, like the
Drock. I knew it. Well, either way, John, Don, thank you so much for being here today and telling us about River Fest. It sounds like it's going to be a fabulous event, relatively new. It's a third year, correct?
Well, technically it's the second year, but we participated with another group and decided that we didn't want to see the funds leave Scott County.
Okay.
So we started it ourselves, myself, Annette Black, and Wendy Bloomingdale, who was on last year.
She was on, yeah.
We started it, and we're going to keep it as just Scott County.
So hyperlocal is where you're trying to keep these funds. Why is that so important to you?
As a veteran, I think it's my mission to give back to veterans in any way I can. I'm the post commander for the American Legion in LeClaire and the vice commander for the American Legion Riders in Bettendorf. And I think it's imperative that we give back. It's a calling.
Yes, and you give back to various organizations as well.
Well, as a new organization, we haven't had a chance to speak of, but we want to be able to have a ramp or funds to build a ramp if a veteran needs it. A Gold Star family needs something important, a new water heater. You know, I want to have a fund there to do that.
That's great. That's amazing. Yes, Don, thank you. So let's talk a little bit about the event. You're the entertainment guy, right? You're in charge of making this just a blast for families to come out and enjoy their Saturday. So what can people expect? The day starts pretty early. Technically the gates open just before 10 a.m., but before that, you guys have something special happening.
We have a fishing derby for young kids, ages 3 to 13.
Awesome.
Registration is from 7 a.m. till 7:30. Then the fishing weigh-in is at 9:30 till 10, and then we give out ribbons and I think trophies again this year.
That's great.
Yes.
And then at 10 o'clock we'll have our flag ceremony.
Okay, the flag ceremony as well. So you, Don, know a lot about that. And what I mean by that is about flags in general, how to fold them, what everything means. This is an opportunity for the public to learn that as well.
I will actually narrate the 13 folds, which explains the reasons for all of the 13 folds and why they're significant. And 13, of course, is the original 13 colonies.
Right.
So.
Yeah, so that's going to be a special moment for a lot of people too, because I think oftentimes, you know, we respect and we honor the American flag, but we don't necessarily know everything about, you know, what it is to honor that. And when you guys fold it, or you know, when you take it down, all of that stuff, you know, you have some wisdom to offer and to share to people. So that starts at 10 a.m., which is essentially when people who aren't part of the Derby, they can start making their way in to the event. So John, tell us what else is going to be happening on Saturday, because truly it's a big party. You're going to have, what, food vendors there?
We're going to have food vendors. We had, at the start of this, 30 vendors. Now we're at 40 plus.
Wow.
They keep getting calls every day. We're starting, it's fantastic. And I did forget to say we are having a metal detector hunt for the kids too, and we're having certain coins.
That's fun.
Whoever finds a silver dollar will win a child's metal detector as a prize we're giving away.
That's awesome.
And then for the adults, we're going to have some adult beverages and music. We're going to have music from 11 o'clock, starting with True Day, 11 till 12:30, and then 1 o'clock we have Bottom Shelf. Cheap Trick is a Cheap Tricks band from 3 o'clock till 4:30, and then Just Cause from 5 o'clock till 6:30. And then Got Your Six from 7 to 8:30, and then to finish the night off is Big Hair Mafia. And it's going to be a lot of music all day long. It's going to be a beautiful day.
Yeah.
We have Beer Tent open from 11 a.m. until 11 p.m.
Yep.
And
that's great. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. You have a poker run.
A poker run also, which is Don's baby also.
The poker run will start at 12. I got some sun yesterday, so poker run will start at 12, and we'll be back before 6 o'clock.
Okay.
And then we'll start having our drawings at 6 o'clock, so they have to be present to win.
Okay, well, and let's talk a little bit about that, because this is one of the raffle baskets that folks can win. So tell us a little bit about, I mean, this is truly incredible. I mean, if you win this raffle, you get a whole lot of stuff.
Well, there's for instance, I think there's 3 $50 gift cards.
Holy cow.
There's a $100 set that you use to treat the paint on your bike, plus others.
Oh, wow, okay.
Then down front is a handmade flag, and in front of it is a Harley-Davidson neon clock.
Yes, and we got a good look at that as well while you guys were talking today. Don, why is it important for people to consider participating in this event, not only because it's fun and it's something to do?
It's all for a good cause. Patriot Riverfest is a 501c3, so we're held by tax laws and all that to keep all these funds right here.
Yeah.
And that's the way the charter was written.
And they're going to be helping people, right?
Yes.
They're going to be helping veterans. And
I would
their
even like to
families.
get involved with St. Louis with the tiny homes.
Yeah. Very cool. All right. Well, thank you both for chatting with me today. Here's the info. If you'd like to head out this weekend, Patriot River Fest again Saturday, June 8th on the LeClaire Levee. Gates open at 9:45. There is a $10 admission after 4 p.m. Otherwise, though, you walk in during the day. Anything you donate absolutely helps. Kids 12 and under, they are free. Once again, thank you both for putting this event together and for coming on the show today and talking with me.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. All right. Well, coming up on Quad Cities Live, there's some serious monkey business going on at the Spotlight Theater. Tarzan and Jane are here to talk about the Quad Cities premiere of Disney's Tarzan.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
Well, it almost didn't happen. Spotlight Theater's Tarzan was slated to open in the summer of 2020.
Right, and we all know what happened there.
Yeah.
Everything was canceled,
Yep.
but now after 4 years, they are ready to go back to the jungle. Tommy Rakowitz-Stierwalt and Kirsten Sindelar from Spotlight Theater are joining us today. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. So, Kirsten, Tarzan opens tomorrow night. You guys must be super excited.
Oh yes, I mean we've been working really hard all week and doing a lot of different runs, and a lot of times during tech you kind of add little pieces and make it better in their own way too. So
or make it more your own.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. Just kind of leading up to that final night where you actually get people watching you. I
That's
mean,
great.
we're ready for an audience, I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And obviously Tarzan is a very well-known Disney classic, but for those of us who might not remember the story, kind of walk us through the storyline, Tommy.
So it's about an infant who was kind of swept up by a family of apes. And throughout the story, he's growing up wondering why he's different, why he doesn't look like his adoptive family, if you will, and finds out close to the end of the show that he is a human.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just like with a lot of like Disney movies or musicals and storylines, I mean, there's something that you can take away from it, whether you are a child watching a Disney movie or you're an adult and you're going to the theater and you're watching this show. I think there's just like a lot of lessons in some of these stories.
Yeah.
But with that said, Kirsten, is there a difference or a big difference between the musical and the movie that probably many of us have seen as children?
Well, it takes you back. It's very nostalgic, but there's a lot of, I mean, it's Phil Collins music. There's a lot of his songs in there that everyone's going to recognize and they're going to remember. But being as the musical adaptation, there is a lot of things that they had to add. A lot of, I mean, Jane doesn't sing at all in the Disney movie, so I do have a few songs. We have a really cool duet. Kerchak sings. I mean, it's
awesome.
it's really funny. So there's a lot of new things that you're gonna see as well as what you already know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of this is new because Tarzan has never been shown in the QC, at least on stage before. So, you know, we were kind of talking before the show. I asked this question about if they were nervous or excited. It's kind of a mixture of both, right?
Yes.
Are you feeling the pressure? Pressure's off?
I think
50-50?
there is a little bit of pressure, just because this is the first, the stage version, the first introduction to this area. So there's the precedent of, all right, go big or go home. And I think with Brent Tubbs, the director and co-owner of the Spotlight, I think he definitely went the route of we're going big. It's a spectacle. Absolutely.
Oh, I love to hear it. I love to hear it. Okay, so you are Tarzan, which you would imagine would be a physically demanding role. Are there ways that you prepared for it, other than obviously practicing your lines in the scenes? But
and you know, Tarzan really, he does not talk a lot. More so towards the end of the show. But I started prepping for this in September of last year.
Oh wow.
Because I said, you know what, if there's one show I'm going to go for, it's going to be this one. And very lovingly, my husband said, you know what, if you get cast, awesome. If you don't get cast, you know, you've been running constantly, you've been lifting at the gym, you're in fantastic shape. So either way, it's a win.
It's a win-win.
Well, good for you. That's awesome.
And obviously, Kirsten, you played Jane. So what did you do to prepare for that role?
Well, I'm used to actually being in a few different shows at the same time.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So it's, I mean, I have a British accent, and obviously I don't have to be in super physical shape. I wear a lot of layers, though. Yeah. So, but actually, I was just in Diary of a Wimpy Kid at Circa, which was a world premiere, actually.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's really two different things,
Sure.
but kind of the first thing that I'm used to that we kind of did in 1 year, so it's really cool. But I've always got lyrics and lines and stuff going on all the time.
That's good. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, from the photos that we were just seeing, I mean, it looks beautiful. What can you tell us about kind of the tech side of things? We know, of course, that you're actors in this, but you know, the lights, the stage, the costumes. I mean, all of that seems to have really come together.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, Brent Tubbs, the director, he did. He built the set as well as worked the lights, and as you saw in the photos, I mean, right there, I mean, the set is just fantastic. Yeah. There's so many different levels. The lighting, he did some fog effects, and I would like to mention that the wardrobe, Sarah Wagner and Heather Blair went. If there was something past above and beyond, I mean, they did it. The way they have dressed us to look like these creatures, these animals, these jungle inhabitants, it really is a spectacle.
That's a talent on its own.
It absolutely is. Yeah, the costumes look amazing, and you know, you were talking about animals. Obviously, we're not going to bring a live leopard on the stage, so we got a leopard puppet. This is pretty unique. Talk about this.
Yeah, Sarah Wagner built this. And when I say we saw the preview of it in its entirety, which you're seeing there is it's mind-blowing. I mean, she has eyes on it, and the way this puppet moves with the actress who is operating it, this entire show is, you've never seen anything like it, I promise you.
It's very immersive.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you can get your tickets now by heading to the SpotlightTheaterQC.com. Performances are this Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m. along with Sunday at 2. The show also runs next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the same times. Tommy and Kirsten, thank you so much. Congratulations. I'm excited.
Like a leg tomorrow night. This is exciting.
Thank you so much.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much for watching Quad Cities Live.
Your local news at 4 is up next.